The silence of deep space shattered as reality itself seemed to tear open, a massive vessel emerging from the swirling vortex of hyperspace. The ship's hull gleamed under the light of distant stars, sleek, predatory, and unmistakably of human origin. This was the HSS Defiant, humanity's first deep space dreadnought, and its arrival was about to send shockwaves through the carefully ordered hierarchy of galactic civilization. Captain Sarah Martinez stood at the command center, her weathered hands resting on the polished surface of the tactical display. 20 years of service in the United Earth Fleet had earned her this moment, though she never imagined she'd be the one to announce humanity's true capabilities to the galaxy at large. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of history pressing down on her shoulders. Lieutenant Commander David Chen's fingers danced across his console. "All systems nominal, Captain. Emergence successful at coordinates Alpha 7. We're approximately 3 light-years from the Galactic Council's core systems. Any signs we've been detected?" "Multiple sensor contacts, Mom," Chen replied, a slight smile playing at the corners of his mouth. "Looks like we've stirred up quite the hornet's nest." Indeed they had. Across Galactic Council space, alarm bells were ringing. In the grand chamber of the Council's central command, Supreme Overseer Skithel's crystalline form pulsed with agitation as reports flooded in from all sectors. "Impossible," the ancient being's thoughts reverberated through the chamber. "The humans are centuries away from achieving this level of technology. Our last assessment clearly indicated." "The assessment was wrong," interrupted Council Security Director Naira, her serpentine form coiling tightly around her command post. "That vessel's energy signature exceeds anything in our database. The humans have deceived us all." Deception was putting it mildly. For over a century, humanity had carefully maintained the illusion of being a struggling young species, barely able to manage interplanetary travel within their own solar system. All the while, they had been preparing, advancing, and building in secret. Back aboard the Defiant, Captain Martinez watched as the first wave of Council vessels approached. They were impressive ships by any standard, sleek, organic-looking craft that moved with impossible grace. But compared to the Defiant, they might as well have been children's toys. "They're hailing us, Captain," announced Communications Officer Priya Patel. "Multiple channels, multiple languages." Martinez straightened her uniform. "Put them through, main screen. Let's introduce ourselves properly." The view screen flickered to life, revealing a collection of alien faces. Some were familiar from humanity's limited previous contact with the Council, others entirely new. At the center was Supreme Overseer Skthal, its crystalline form refracting light in patterns that conveyed both authority and agitation. "Unknown vessel," Skithel's translated voice rang through the bridge. "You have entered restricted space with an unauthorized warship. Power down your systems immediately and prepare to be boarded, or—" "This is Captain Sarah Martinez of the human spaceship Defiant," she cut in smoothly, her voice projecting calm authority. "We will not be powering down or submitting to boarding. We are here to open diplomatic relations with the Galactic Council as equals." The silence that followed was deafening. Martinez could almost see the ripples of shock spreading through the alien commanders on screen. Humanity wasn't supposed to be capable of this. They were supposed to be primitive, manageable, contained. "Captain Martinez," Skithel's voice had lost some of its imperious tone. "Surely you understand that appearing unannounced in restricted space with a weapon of war violates numerous Council protocols. Your species is not even recognized as a spacefaring civilization." Martinez allowed herself a small smile. "That was by design, Overseer. Humanity has learned much from observing how the Council treats emerging civilizations. We chose to keep our true capabilities hidden until we were ready to ensure equal treatment." Security Director Naira's serpentine form writhed in what might have been agitation. "Ready? You dare to threaten the Galactic Council?" "Not at all, Director," Martinez replied. "We're here to prevent threats. We've observed how the Council's more powerful members tend to, exploit younger civilizations. Humanity has no interest in being exploited, nor in watching it happen to others. The Defiant's sensors detected power spikes from several of the Council vessels, weapons charging, though not yet targeting. Martinez had expected this. Fear and aggression were common responses to unexpected changes in the power dynamic. We have transmitted a complete diplomatic package to all vessels present, Martinez continued. It includes our terms for peaceful cooperation, technological exchange proposals, and evidence of numerous violations of the Council's own charter regarding the treatment of developing civilizations. We look forward to productive discussions. She gestured to Paddle to cut the transmission, leaving the Council representatives to digest what had just happened. The bridge crew maintained their professional demeanor, but Martinez could sense their pride. Years of preparation, of maintaining the deception, had led to this moment. They're not going to take this well, Chen observed, still monitoring the Council vessels. Martinez nodded. No, they won't, but they're going to have to adjust to a new reality. Humanity won't be relegated to the sidelines of galactic civilization. Multiple new contacts appearing, Captain, announced the sensor officer. Council reinforcements arriving from the core systems. Maintain our position, Martinez ordered. Defensive systems at ready but passive. Let them see we're not here to start a fight. As more Council ships arrived, taking up positions around the Defiant, Martinez reflected on the journey that had brought them here. Humanity had learned harsh lessons from its own history about the dangers of technological and cultural disparities between civilizations. They had watched as the Council repeated those same patterns across the galaxy, strong species dominating and exploiting the weak under the guise of guidance and protection. But humanity had chosen a different path. They had hidden their rapid advancement, learning from every scrap of information they could gather about the galaxy at large. They had built their technology in secret, incorporating the best aspects of various alien approaches while adding their own innovations. The Defiant itself was a testament to that philosophy. Its hull incorporated metamaterials that absorbed and redirected energy. Its drives used principles reverse-engineered from a dozen different species approaches to FTL travel, and its weapons combined technologies in ways the Council races had never considered. Captain, Patel called out, we're receiving a priority transmission from the Council chamber itself. They're requesting your presence for emergency diplomatic talks. Martinez allowed herself a broader smile this time. Request accepted. Inform them I'll be ready to transit in 30 minutes. She turned to her XO. Commander Chen, you have the bridge. Keep our friends out there honest while I go explain the new status quo. As she headed to prepare for the meeting, Martinez knew this was just the beginning. Humanity had hidden long enough, gathering strength and knowledge. Now it was time to take their place in the galaxy, not as conquerors or subjects, but as guardians of a better way forward. The Council was about to learn that humanity's greatest weapon wasn't the Defiant's impressive technology. It was their determination to create a more equitable galaxy, backed by the strength to make it happen. The Grand Council chamber was a testament to alien architecture, its crystalline spires stretching impossibly high into the artificial atmosphere of the station. Captain Martinez walked its halls flanked by her diplomatic officer, Commander Diana Walsh, and her chief science officer, Dr. Raj Kumar. Their footsteps echoed against floors that seemed to shimmer with their own inner light. The chamber itself was filled with representatives from hundreds of species, their murmuring creating a cascade of sounds that the universal translators struggled to process. At the center of it all stood Supreme Overseer Skthal, its crystalline form now expanded to tower over the proceedings. Captain Martinez, Skithal's thoughts resonated through the chamber. You stand before the full Galactic Council to explain humanity's deception and apparent violations of numerous development protocols. Martinez stood straight, her expression neutral but confident. With respect, Overseer, we stand here to discuss the Council's own violations of its founding principles. Humanity's actions were a response to systemic exploitation of developing civilizations. A ripple of protest moved through the assembled representatives. From her elevated position, Security Director Naira's scales flickered with iridescent patterns of anger. "You dare to accuse." "We dare to present evidence," Commander Walsh interrupted, activating a holoprojector. The chamber filled with floating displays showing dozens of worlds, hundreds of incidents, systematic resource extraction from developing worlds, cultural manipulation, forced technological dependence, all prohibited by the Council's own charter, all documented by our observation networks. Dr. Kumar stepped forward, his dark eyes scanning the assembled aliens. "We also have evidence of deliberate technological suppression. The Council claims to guide younger species, but in reality, it ensures they remain dependent on more established powers." The accusations hung in the air like physical things. Martinez could see the impact they were having. Some representatives shifting uncomfortably, others radiating various alien expressions of outrage or guilt. "This is precisely why protocols exist." A new voice cut in. Trade Minister Ixel, a tall, spindly being composed of what appeared to be living metal, stepped into the central platform. "Unrestricted technological development leads to chaos, to war. The Council maintains order." "The Council maintains control," Martins corrected. "But humanity has demonstrated another way. We've achieved our current level of technology without exploitation, without endless war, without becoming the very things we feared." As if to punctuate her point, the chamber's screen suddenly flickered with new data, readings from the Defiant and its support fleet still hidden in hyperspace. The assembled representatives fell silent as they processed what they were seeing. "Impossible," someone whispered. "Their power generation capabilities." "Not impossible," Dr. Kumar explained. "We simply approached the problem differently. While the Council races focused on extracting zero-point energy through brute force, we developed ways to harmonize with the quantum fabric itself. More efficient, more stable, and far less likely to catastrophically fail." The implications weren't lost on the more scientifically minded representatives. Humanity hadn't just caught up to Council technology. They'd found entirely new paths of development. "And your weapons?" Security Director Naira demanded. "Are we to believe those too were developed purely for defense?" Martinez smiled. "Actually, what you're detecting as weapons systems are primarily defensive technologies. The Defiant's capabilities have been greatly misunderstood. We focused on protection, not destruction." She nodded to Dr. Kumar, who activated another holographic display. It showed the Defiant's whole structure in detail, revealing layers of technology that had the Council's scientific representatives leaning forward in fascination. "Our hull doesn't just absorb energy weapons, it redirects and repurposes that energy. Kinetic impacts are dissipated through quantum fields. Even temporal attacks would be reflected back on their source. We made ourselves virtually invulnerable not to wage war, but to ensure peace could be negotiated from a position of equality." The chamber erupted in discussion, hundreds of species trying to process the implications. Humanity hadn't just hidden their development. They'd taken entirely different paths, finding solutions that the Council races had never considered. Supreme Overseer Skithel's crystalline form pulsed with patterns that the translators interpreted as deep concern. "You speak of peace while revealing military capabilities that could destabilize the entire galaxy." "No," Commander Walsh corrected. "We speak of change while demonstrating the capability to ensure that change happens peacefully. Humanity is not interested in conquest or domination. We want reform." "Reform." Trade Minister Ixel's metallic form rippled. "You would dare to demand changes to systems that have maintained galactic peace for millennia." "Peace for some," Martins countered. "Subjugation for others. We've had enough time to observe how the Council operates. The stronger species maintain their position by ensuring younger civilizations never truly catch up. Resources are extracted. Development is controlled, and the hierarchy remains fixed." She gestured to the displays still showing evidence of the Council's manipulations. "But humanity proved there's another way. We advanced in secret not just to protect ourselves, but to demonstrate that cooperation and ethical development are possible. Every breakthrough we achieved was shared among all human colonies and settlements. No exploitation, no subjugation, just shared progress. The chamber had grown quieter now, many representatives clearly wrestling with the implications. Humanity wasn't just challenging the Council's authority. They were challenging its fundamental approach to civilization itself. "And what would you have us do?" Scythal demanded. "Simply abandon systems that have maintained order for thousands of years. We would have you live up to your own stated principles," Martins replied. "The Council's charter speaks of guidance and protection for developing civilizations, of sharing knowledge and fostering growth. We're here to ensure those aren't just empty words." Dr. Kumar activated one final display, showing the Defiance sensor readings of distant Council space. "We've detected unusual energy signatures in several developing systems, signs consistent with forced technological regression. It's happening right now, even as we speak." The evidence was undeniable. Several Council representatives actually withdrew from the chamber, their guilt or complicity perhaps too obvious to hide. Others began arguing among themselves, the carefully maintained facade of unity cracking under the weight of exposed truth. "You've hidden among us, spied on us, and now you threaten us with superior technology," Security Director Nera accused. "How does this make you any different from those you criticize?" Martinez's expression hardened. "Because we're giving you a choice. Work with us to reform the Council, to create genuine opportunities for developing civilizations to grow and contribute, or watch as we systematically dismantle the tools of oppression you've built. Either way, the old system ends today." As the chamber erupted in fresh chaos, Martins knew the real challenges were just beginning. Humanity had revealed itself and its capabilities, but creating genuine change in a galaxy set in its ways would be far more difficult than building advanced technology in secret. Yet as she looked at the faces and forms of the younger species representatives, seeing hope beginning to replace resignation, she knew it would be worth it. Humanity hadn't come to conquer the stars, but to ensure they would be shared equally by all. The emergency alert cut through the tense diplomatic negotiations like a knife. Dr. Kumar's quantum communicator pulsed with an urgent message from the Defiant, drawing all eyes in the Council chamber. "Captain," his voice was tight with concern, "you need to see this." The holographic display shifted, showing a cascade of sensor data that made even the most composed Council representatives stir uneasily. At the edges of known space, something was moving. Something big. "Multiple spatial anomalies detected," Kumar explained, his fingers dancing across the display. "They're unlike anything in either human or Council records. Whatever they are, they're consuming energy on a massive scale." Security Director Nera slithered forward, her scales shifting to a deeper shade of concern. "Impossible. Our long-range sensors would have." "Your sensors wouldn't have detected this," Kumar interrupted. "We only caught it because of our quantum harmonic detection systems. Something or someone is creating tears in the fabric of space-time itself." Supreme Overseer Scythal's crystalline form pulsed with patterns of agitation. "How many?" "At least 7 distinct anomalies, each larger than a solar system," Martins answered, studying the data. "They're moving in a pattern, consuming everything in their path. At their current trajectory." She paused, letting the implications sink in. "They'll reach Council space within 3 standard months," Kumar finished. The chamber erupted in chaos. Representatives from hundreds of species began talking at once, their universal translators creating a cacophony of panic. Trade Minister Ixel's metallic form rippled with visible distress. "Order." Scythal's thoughts boomed through the chamber. "Captain Martinez, you chose this moment to reveal this threat. Why?" Martinez straightened, her expression grave. "Because neither humanity nor the Council can face this alone. Whatever these anomalies are, they're beyond anything either of us has encountered. We need each other." The silence that followed was heavy with implication. Humanity had revealed its advanced technology and demanded reforms, only to now suggest cooperation against a greater threat. Some representatives were already muttering about convenient timing. "Show them," Martinez nodded to Kumar. The scientist activated a new display, showing detailed scans of the regions already consumed by the anomalies. Where thriving star systems had once existed, there was now nothing. Not darkness, not empty space, but a complete absence of reality itself. "These aren't natural phenomena," Kumar explained. "The energy signatures suggest deliberate action. Someone or something is systematically erasing portions of our galaxy from existence." Commander Walsh stepped forward, adding her diplomatic expertise to the discussion. "Our intelligence suggests that similar events may have occurred in neighboring galaxies. We've detected traces of artificial quantum signatures that match these anomalies in the void between galaxies." "How convenient." Naira's voice dripped with skepticism. "You appear with superior technology, demand changes to our entire civilization, and then reveal an impossible threat that only you can detect." Martinez's expression hardened. "We understand your skepticism, Director. That's why we're prepared to share our quantum harmonic detection technology with the Council immediately. Verify our findings for yourself." The offer caught many representatives off guard. Humanity had been protective of their technological advances, yet now they were offering to share one of their most sophisticated innovations. "The choice is simple," Martinez continued. "We can maintain our divisions and suspicions until these anomalies reach populated space, or we can work together to understand and counter this threat." Skithel's crystalline form shifted, creating patterns that the translators couldn't quite interpret. "And what would this cooperation entail, Captain?" "Full technological exchange," Martinez replied without hesitation. "Humanity's advances in quantum harmonics and energy manipulation, combined with the Council's extensive knowledge of spatial mechanics and temporal physics. We need it all if we're going to have any chance." Dr. Kumar activated another display, this one showing a simulation of the anomaly's advance. "Based on our calculations, these entities, whatever they are becoming more efficient with each system they consume. They're learning, adapting, growing stronger." The simulation showed the progression, each anomaly growing larger, moving faster, consuming more space with each passing moment. The pattern was clear and terrifying. "We have 3 months," Martinez stated firmly. 3 months to overcome centuries of mistrust and prejudice. 3 months to combine our knowledge and capabilities. 3 months to prepare for an enemy that doesn't just want to conquer or subjugate, but to erase us all from existence. The chamber had grown eerily quiet, representatives from warring species standing closer together, ancient rivals sharing worried glances. Fear was proving to be a powerful unifying force. "And if we refuse?" Trade Minister Ixel asked, though his metallic tone suggested he already knew the answer. "Then humanity will fight alone," Martinez replied simply. "We'll do what we can to protect as many worlds as possible, Council space included, but our chances of success would be minimal." She gestured to the display showing the approaching anomalies. "This isn't about politics anymore. It's not about reform or control or power. It's about survival. All of us, every species in this chamber, working together or ceasing to exist together." Supreme Overseer Skithel's form pulsed with rapid patterns of thought. "The Council must deliberate. This decision cannot be made hastily." "With respect, Overseer," Kumar interjected, "the anomalies aren't going to wait for parliamentary procedure. Every moment we delayed is a moment we could be preparing, studying, understanding what we're facing." Martinez looked around the chamber, meeting the eyes, optical sensors, and other sensory organs of countless species. "We revealed ourselves now because we detected these anomalies approaching. Humanity could have remained hidden, could have tried to face this threat alone. Instead, we're here, offering partnership despite our differences." She paused, letting her words sink in. "The question isn't whether to trust humanity. The question is whether we're all willing to rise above our fears and prejudices to face something that threatens every living being in our galaxy." The chamber erupted in discussion once more, but this time the tone was different. Fear of the unknown threat was beginning to outweigh fear of human technological superiority. Species that had been enemies for generations were quietly conferring, sharing concerned looks and hushed conversations. As the council representatives debated, Martinez turned to Kumar and Walsh. Prepare the quantum harmonic detection protocols for sharing. The moment they agree, and they will agree, I want to begin the technological exchange. The storm was coming, whether the galaxy was ready or not. But for the first time in countless generations, ancient enemies were beginning to see each other not as rivals or threats, but as fellow survivors in the face of extinction. The combined research facility aboard the Defiant hummed with activity. Where once there had been clear divisions between human and alien spaces, now dozens of species worked side by side. Quantum displays flickered with calculations in multiple languages, and the air was filled with the sound of various translation devices, trying to keep up with the rapid exchange of ideas. Dr. Kumar stood at the central research hub, surrounded by some of the finest scientific minds in the galaxy. To his left, a quantid physicist's tentacles manipulated complex spatial equations in midair. To his right, a meridian crystal mind processed vast amounts of data through its crystalline matrix. The anomalies are operating on multiple dimensional levels simultaneously, Kumar explained, manipulating a holographic model of the latest sensor data. They're not just consuming matter and energy, they're erasing the very laws of physics in the regions they touch. Impossible, chittered Dr. Vix, a council theoretical physicist whose insectoid form vibrated with agitation. The fundamental constants cannot simply be removed. And yet, Captain Martinez's voice cut in as she entered the research hub. That's exactly what we're seeing. Show them the latest readings, Doctor. Kumar nodded, expanding the display to show real-time sensor feeds from the quantum harmonic detection grid, now spread across council space. The approaching anomalies were more clearly visible than ever. Massive voids in reality itself, expanding and consuming everything in their path. 2 months, Martine stated grimly. That's all we have left before they reach the outer colonies. We need solutions. The assembled scientists fell silent, their various forms shifting in what translated across species as deep concern. They had been working around the clock, combining human quantum manipulation technology with council spatial mechanics expertise, but progress was frustratingly slow. Perhaps, a new voice cut through the silence. We are approaching this from the wrong direction. All eyes turned to Security Director Naira, who had slithered into the research hub unnoticed. Since the revelation of the threat, she had undergone a remarkable transformation from one of humanity's strongest critics to one of their most dedicated partners. Explain, Martines prompted. Naira's scales shifted in patterns that the translators now recognized as intense thought. We keep trying to stop these anomalies, to fight them directly. But what if we instead try to understand why they're doing this? What if this isn't random destruction, but purposeful reconstruction? Kumar's eyes widened as he processed the implication. You think these aren't weapons. They're tools. Tools of creation through destruction. The meridian crystal mind chimed in, its thoughts resonating through the chamber. The patterns of consumption are too precise, too methodical for mere destruction. Martinen studied the sensor displays with renewed interest. Dr. Kumar, can you overlay the consumption patterns with standard galactic mapping? The scientist quickly manipulated the displays, and suddenly the pattern became clear. The anomalies weren't moving randomly. They were creating something. A new structure was slowly taking shape in the void they left behind. It's a lattice. The quantid physicist's tentacles waved in excitement. They're building a framework of some kind, using our space-time as raw material. But for what purpose? Vix chittered nervously. Before anyone could respond, alarms began blaring throughout the facility. The sensor displays flickered with new data as one of the anomalies suddenly accelerated, changing course. It's heading directly for the Proxima Centauri colony, Kumar announced, his fingers flying over the controls. Time to impact, 48 hours. Martinez's expression hardened. We're out of time for theoretical discussion. We need a practical solution now. Perhaps we have one, Naira suggested, her scales rippling with intensity. If these are indeed tools of creation, then they must operate on principles we can understand. Your quantum harmonic technology combined with our spatial manipulation capabilities could create a counter-resonance. Kumar finished, already running calculations. We can't stop them directly, but we might be able to redirect their creative force. The research hub erupted in activity as scientists from a dozen species began working on the problem from different angles. Humans' intuitive approach to quantum mechanics merged with Council races' deep understanding of spatial engineering. Ideas that would have been impossible for any one species began taking shape through collaboration. We'll need more power than any single ship can generate, the Meridian Crystal Mind observed. Then we'll use them all, Martins declared. Every ship in the combined fleet, human and Council alike, linked together through quantum entanglement. One massive power source, focused through the Defiance harmonic arrays. The next 48 hours passed in a blur of activity. Throughout Council space, ships of all sizes and origins began moving into position. Ancient enemies found themselves flying in formation, their crews working together to establish the quantum links that would unite their power systems. The Defiant itself underwent a rapid transformation. Its hull bristled with new arrays, combining human quantum technology with Council spatial manipulators. The ship's interior was barely recognizable, filled with hybrid systems that had never existed before. As the anomaly approached Proxima Centauri, the combined fleet took up its position. Thousands of ships, arranged in a precise pattern designed by human and Council mathematicians working in concert. Power synchronization at 98%. Kumar reported from his modified station. Quantum harmonic resonance stable across all vessels. Martinez stood at the command center, surrounded by representatives from dozens of species. This was no longer just a human ship. It was the focal point of the galaxy's first truly unified defense. The anomaly will enter range in 5 minutes, Naira announced, her coils wrapped around a modified sensor station. All ships report ready. This is Captain Martinez to all vessels, she broadcast across the unified fleet. What we attempt here has never been done before. We're about to find out if different species, different civilizations, can truly work as one. The power you're providing isn't just energy, it's trust. Trust that together we can face something none of us could handle alone. She paused, looking at the faces and forms of aliens who had been strangers and potential enemies just months ago. Now they stood together, their differences forgotten in the face of extinction. All ships begin power transfer on my mark. 3, 2, 1, mark. The combined energy of thousands of ships began flowing through the quantum links, channeling through the Defiance modified systems. The ship's hull gleamed with impossible energies as human and alien technology worked in perfect harmony for the first time in galactic history. As the anomaly approached, about to consume its first inhabited world, humanity and the Council were about to discover if their unified stand would be enough to save them all. The combined energy of thousands of ships surged through the Defiance modified systems, transforming the human vessel into something entirely new. Its hull pulsed with ribbons of light as quantum harmonics merged with Council spatial technology, creating effects that neither civilization had achieved alone. Energy confluence at maximum, Dr. Kumar announced, his voice steady despite the unprecedented powers flowing through the ship. Quantum spatial matrix stable. The approaching anomaly filled the main viewport, a void in reality that threatened to consume everything in its path. But now, for the first time, the assembled species of the galaxy could see it clearly through their combined sensor technologies. What had appeared as simple nothingness revealed itself as something far more complex. "It's beautiful," Security Director Nera whispered, her scales shifting in patterns of awe. The anomaly wasn't just destroying space-time. It was weaving it into new patterns, creating structures that existed in dimensions beyond normal space. Multiple quantum signatures detected within the anomaly, announced the Meridian Crystal Mind. They're responding to our energy field. Captain Martinez stood at the command center, feeling the subtle vibrations of power flowing through the ship. Now we know they can sense us. Dr. Kumar, begin the harmonic sequence. Kumar's fingers danced across his hybrid console, initiating the carefully calculated frequencies that humans and council scientists had designed together. The Defiance-modified systems began emitting patterns of energy that mimicked the anomaly's own quantum signature. Energy patterns synchronized, Kumar reported, beginning attempts at communication. The assembled crew watched in tense silence as the ship's combined human council technology reached out to the entity that had threatened their existence. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then the anomaly changed. Its patterns of consumption shifted, the void taking on new properties that the sensors struggled to interpret. What had been a force of pure destruction began forming into something more defined, more purposeful. "We're receiving a response," Kumar announced, his eyes wide. It's a language, but not one based on matter or energy as we understand them. It's pure quantum information. The Meridian crystal minds form pulsed with excitement. Yes, I can almost. They're architects. The anomalies, they're not destroyers. They're builders, creating something vast beyond our comprehension. Can we communicate with them? Martines asked, her voice tight with the weight of possibility. Already translating. Kumar replied, working in perfect synchronization with council scientists. The quantum harmonic field we've created, it's acting as a bridge between our reality and theirs. Suddenly, the main viewport filled with patterns of light and energy that somehow conveyed meaning across the boundaries of dimensional space. The universal translators, augmented with quantum spatial algorithms, began to interpret. We shape reality. The translation came through in fits and starts. Your resistance, unexpected. Unity, unprecedented. Martinez stepped forward. We are many species working together to survive. We mean you no harm, but we cannot allow you to destroy our worlds. There was a pause as the translation filtered through the quantum field. The response came back clearer this time. Destruction, not purpose. Reality requires restructuring. Old patterns, failing. The scientific teams worked frantically to understand. It was Naira who made the connection first, her serpentine form practically vibrating with revelation. They're not invaders. They're repair crews, she announced. The fabric of space-time itself is beginning to fail, and they're trying to reinforce it before it collapses completely. Understanding swept through the bridge. These beings weren't enemies to be fought, but cosmic engineers trying to prevent a greater catastrophe. Their methods seemed destructive only because they operated on levels of reality beyond normal space-time. If we help you, Martinez offered, can you avoid populated systems? We can work together to find ways to strengthen space-time without erasing existing civilizations. Another pause, longer this time. The anomaly's patterns shifted, became more complex. Cooperation, possible. Your unity creates new possibilities. Together, we can reshape without destruction. Over the next several hours, human and council scientists worked with the entities through the quantum spatial interface. What had begun as a confrontation transformed into the greatest technological and scientific exchange in galactic history. The entities shared their understanding of reality's underlying structure, while the combined human council fleet demonstrated how multiple approaches and perspectives could find solutions that single civilizations might miss. 1 month later, the Grand Council chamber was almost unrecognizable. Where there had once been rigid hierarchies and ancient divisions, now representatives from all species sat together, sharing ideas and resources freely. Captain Martinez stood before the assembled representatives, her uniform modified to include symbols of both human and council authority. The crisis we faced brought us together, but it's our choice to stay united. The entities we once feared are now our partners in preserving the galaxy itself. She gestured to the new quantum spatial displays, showing the cooperative work being done throughout Council space. Humans worked alongside former enemies, combining technologies and methodologies in ways that would have been impossible before. The entities, now understood as cosmic architects, helped strengthen the fabric of space-time through methods that preserved existing civilizations. We've learned that the greatest threat to any civilization isn't external, Martinez continued. It's the belief that we must stand alone. Humanity hid its advancement because we saw only competition and exploitation in the galaxy. The Council enforced hierarchies because they feared chaos and conflict. Supreme Overseer Skithel's crystalline form pulsed with patterns of agreement, and in finding a way to trust each other, we discovered possibilities beyond any single species' imagination. The chamber hummed with energy as quantum spatial technology, now integrated into its very structure, maintained communication channels with the entities. Together, they were not just preserving the galaxy, they were helping it evolve. This is only the beginning, Dr. Kumar announced from his position beside a group of Council scientists. Already, our combined research teams are discovering applications for quantum spatial technology that could transform every aspect of our civilizations. Security Director Naira, now head of the newly formed Interspecies Cooperation Council, slithered forward. And more importantly, we're learning to see difference not as a threat, but as an essential component of progress. Every species brings unique perspectives and capabilities that strengthen us all. As Martinez looked out over the assembled representatives, she saw not the fearful divided galaxy of a few months ago, but a unified civilization ready to face whatever challenges the universe might present. Humanity had emerged from hiding not to dominate, but to participate in something far greater than any single species could achieve alone. The entities had come to repair reality, but in doing so, they had helped repair the divisions between civilizations. As the quantum spatial displays showed the strengthened fabric of spacetime, they also showed something else: the first truly unified galactic civilization, ready to explore and shape the cosmos together.